Hey everybody, Karen from Assosphere, guys. How you doing today? I'm not re-recording that because I just did a re-record on the intro because I flubbed up. So here I am. That's a blooper. I hope you're doing well. So we are doing a lead team questions on this new national emergency order that Trump has assigned an executive order on. And I wanted to do this because I wanted to read about it with you to become more aware of what it is. And then we're going to ask the lead team a bunch of questions. Now, I know I'm sitting in my coffee with Karen couch, but I'm going to do the lead team, have a lead team conversation. And Lob is texting me right now. So I'm not going to answer him, but you might hear some dings. Okay. So are you guys aware that on April 20th, so I'm recording this on April 26th, 2026. All right. So on April 20th, 2026, Trump declared he put out a national emergency order. All right. So the federal government declared a national emergency under Executive Order 14156. So 14156. All right. So I wanted to bring this to our attention because I have a feeling a lot of people didn't hear about this. So we're going to find out what it means and then we're going to ask some questions. So what does a national emergency order mean? So this means the government is saying there's a serious situation that needs faster action than normal rules allow. And in this instant, the situation involves domestic petroleum production, refining, and logistical capacity, a shortfall of which could severely impact national defense capabilities. So national defense doesn't necessarily mean just, defending. It's more like, yeah, we're going to have a shortage. This ain't surprising if you've been watching. Now I can see why the lead team was telling our community 6 months, and are we going to have, well, it depends on where you live, but if you live in Pakistan or in Africa, you may have serious shortages of things. If you live in the United States, in Canada, you may not have serious shortages of things right now, but you may be paying a lot more for them. It's hard to say. Okay. So we're going to be exploring that as time goes on, and I'll try to get you some answers. As we, still have to live in the 3D, even though we're trying to focus more on not living in the 3D, but we still have to live here. And we are human beings having, spiritual beings having a human experience in the 3D. So I think it is worth at least paying attention to. I'm sitting on some litter. Lucy, just throw it on the carpet. Okay, so let me read that again. So this means the government is saying there's a serious situation. Okay, first of all, did you hear about this? Is the question. I only heard one person on YouTube talking about it, and I listen to YouTube a lot. I've heard one person mention it, and it was somebody I listened to for finance. That's it. I haven't heard anybody else talking about this. So has anybody heard this? So the government is saying there's a serious situation that needs faster action than normal rules allow. And in this instant, the situation involves domestic petroleum production. Domestic petroleum production. That doesn't mean that domestic. So that doesn't mean, obviously we know there's going to be a shortage. And, it's interesting. I will list a couple videos that I've watched below from very credible sources. Now, do I like everything about things people say? No. So just use your your thinking caps. Or if somebody says something that I don't quite align with, like one person has like a little Bible here and he's, and I'm like, I don't align with that, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have something helpful to say. So I don't try to turn things off just because of that. Okay. So, but I have found a couple really helpful people to help me think through this situation, not the national emergency order, but think through what is shortages going to look like where I'm living, just so I can take care of myself, right? So you might want to listen to a couple of those. So yeah, this involves domestic petroleum production, refining, and logistical capacity, a shortfall of which could severely impact national defense capabilities. Interestingly, since the passage of the National Emergency Acts, NEA, in 1976, U.S. presidents have declared over 90 national emergencies. Did you know that? I didn't. Many declare, I mean, I knew there was some, but many dealing with foreign policy, economic sanctions, domestic or significant global impact. These are distinct from the disasters covered by FEMA. Okay, so these are different than what FEMA would. So Jimmy Carter issued 2 national emergency orders. Ronald Reagan issued 6. It's interesting. George H.W. Bush issued 4. Bill Clinton issued 17. What? George W. Bush, so Clinton has 1. He had 17. What was going on? What was going on back then, Bill? How come I can't even think about what was going on with Bill besides Monica Lewinsky? I can't think of anything, so that's how involved I was. George W. Bush, 12. Barack Obama, 13. Donald Trump, 2017 to 21, 11. Probably had to do a lot with COVID. Joe Biden, 9. And Trump, 25 to present. So basically a year and a half, he's declared 8 in a year and a half. Oh, so he might get up there with Bill Clinton. We'll see. So this current national emergency was first declared on January 20th, 2025, the first day of Trump's current term. What? With a second round of memos issued in April 2026. I did not know this. So they did this. They did a national emergency. This national emergency was declared on January 20th, 2025. I wonder if they did that because they wanted more stuff to go towards national defense. I don't know. The first day of Trump's current term, that was his first day. Remember, he was signing like a gazillion things, that whole theater of him signing. That was ridiculous. I mean, that's just, even when I think about that, I don't care who, like if Biden did that, I don't care who did. I mean, it's just manipulative to sit there and like, and then they would announce it and I mean, it was just like, it's just manipulative. I mean, who treats people like that? Come on. Talk about the theater, right? I mean, it's one thing if you're paying to go to the theater and you're just watching a play, but to not know you're watching a play, which you are watching a play, telling you. That's when I get this. I just recorded 2 other videos, but this was Coffee with Karen 2 days ago. This is my favorite mug. I was a little thirsty, so there you go. Sorry for those of you who have a hard time hearing that swallowing sound. I get it. Okay, so let's ask the LTC questions about this national emergency. Okay, you guys. If the war in Iran is the primary cause, we want to find out if that's the case and what level of concern we need to have. Okay, so this is obviously allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. Everybody's in a different circumstance. Everybody lives in different places. So please just, I don't want to raise, if you feel like this is going to cause you fear, then this is probably not a good conversation for you to be listening to, because that would not be my intention, is to cause you more fear. I feel more comfortable when I feel more prepared. So that's why I'm bringing this conversation to the community. But if you don't feel that that would actually help you prepare, that it would just perpetuate fear for you, then I would just click off now. Okay. Like, no reason for you to be listening to it. Okay. If there's like nothing you can do about it, or if it would just cause you more, just anxiety or whatever. Okay, so I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, the lead team collective, and our community, so it is only of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, lead team. I've already talked to him twice today. This is the third time I'm saying the prayer. I already did law of challenge, so we're good there. And just to make sure, lead team, when you respond to these questions, are you responding with my biased energy towards the responses? No. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So, lead team, we are wondering about this national emergency that was declared most recently on April 20th, 2026 by the federal government of the US. Is this conversation in our highest and best to have? Yes. Okay. Will this lower our vibration to understand this information? No. Okay. All right. But again, judge for yourself. If you start to feel your vibration coming down, then just step away. Okay. Okay. So, lead team, are the military strikes in Iran the primary cause of this national emergency? Yes. Was the threat of nuclear development in Iran the actual reason for the initial strikes? No, allegedly. Was the nuclear threat used as a cover for strategic energy moves? Yes. Yes. Okay, so it has to do with energy. Always has to do with energy. Okay, yes, even though we have free energy, we do, right? And, people are being like unalived for it. So, yes, okay. Probably shouldn't talk about those. That's like a real thing going on. So, that seems to be one of the trends among those who are missing, the scientists that are missing, have to do with the discovery of free energy. So, yes, okay. Just so you guys know, those people out there, I don't know how to access it. But, we all know it's there. I mean, come on now. Even Tesla told us it was there. So, all right. Is there a current shortfall of petroleum affecting military operations, U.S. military operations? Yes. Is the primary goal of this order military readiness? No. So are they talking national defense as in like just everyday citizens as well? Yes. Okay. So you guys, our government has put out an emergency order. So what that means to me, and I'm going to ask, so in the US, it appears to me, because people I hang out with have no freaking idea what's going on. And I'm like, and there's somebody the person that I told you about, the finance person that I told you about, I'll list his channel below. He's wonderful. Anyways, he's more of a day trader, and I don't do day trading, but I do like his coverage of what's going on in the world and how it might affect markets overall, like just for general investments. But he does day trading too. I just don't watch him for that. But he doesn't do any kind of advertising, or he doesn't take money or anything like that. So I really trust his opinion on things. So, but he's been saying that, and I think I told you this once before, but he's been saying that, there's this avalanche coming. And there's people like standing there taking selfies of the avalanche before it actually hits them. And they're, and he's pretty much like, run, but they're still there taking selfies. Some people don't even know the avalanche is coming. So, but he talks about that a lot. So that's what this reminds me of is in the US, what percentage of people do you think are aware of this avalanche that's coming? Well, let me ask, is there an avalanche coming to those who live in the US? Yes, allegedly, entertainment purposes only. Okay. It's kind of a no-brainer at this point if you're paying attention. So there's an avalanche is moving. It's starting to roll down the hill. And is it getting faster? That's what avalanches do. Yes. Okay. What percentage of those who live in the United States do you think are aware that this avalanche is coming? 50%? Yes. Okay, that's good. 75%? No. Okay. So between 50 and 75%, somewhere in between there? Yes. Okay, well, that's good. So so this other percentage of people, we'll just say 25%, are not, which is surprising actually. That seems pretty low considering the people around me. I'm like, I don't feel like anybody's taking anything seriously, So, well, nobody's talking about it. Then again, I'm not talking about it with them either. So, I mean, I kind of planted some seeds, but nobody seems to want to talk about anything like that. So I just don't. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like I'll go, oh, are you aware of what's going on? And then see if they want to talk about it, I don't know. It's kind of strange to me. But yeah, the lead team's like, yes, it is strange. So this 25, well, let me think. Where was I going with this? So let me go back to the questions real quick and I got to think about where I was going with this. Would a resource shortfall truly impair national defense at this moment? Yes. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. So we haven't really felt it. We've felt some price. We haven't had an oil shock yet. I mean, it's gone up like $1, but I don't really consider that a shock. Some of you might, but are we in for much more pain? I don't really want to use that word, but are we in for oil shock more than what it's been? Yes. And that's what I feel like people don't realize, that it's coming, that the avalanche. So the other countries have felt it already, correct? Yes. All you got to do, guys, is listen to what other countries are experiencing and then assume it's going to hit the US next. It's just kind of how it happens. That's what happened during the pandemic, too. Okay. All right. Were current rules for energy production creating an immediate security risk? Oh, yes. So current rules for energy production, that's why they're changing the rules for energy production because, yeah, okay. So that's what the national emergency is about. Okay. Is this order a move to address a potential problem before it becomes a larger issue? Yes. Is it going to address a larger issue? Yes. Okay, well, that's positive. All right. Will we still feel a larger oil shock than what we've experienced so far in the States? Yes. Is there a point where we will experience flight cancellations and all that like other countries are experiencing now? Yes. Let's see. Does this emergency declaration mean that energy systems have already collapsed? No. Good. Are there specific logistical bottlenecks that cannot be fixed under current normal rules? Yes. Okay. So allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, did they go start this whole thing with Iran to create this issue? Yes. Not surprising. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, but is the domestic refining capacity the main weak point in the supply chain? You got to know a little bit about that. But yeah, that's kind of what like I've heard people say, well, we're sending oil out, or we're getting whatever in the United States. But there's something they have to do with the oil. It's not just like shipped here and then we can automatically be using it. So there's some refining that has to happen. Okay. I ain't the expert in this part. So you can listen to the people that I've listed below, okay, for more information on this kind of stuff if you're interested. I think the biggest thing is just to know that there's going to be some issues, Okay, are there specific materials beyond fuel that are considered at risk of a shortfall? Yes. Is one of them plastics? Yes. I talked about this a couple days ago. I don't know, I mentioned it. Because everything right now, you guys, if you're buying like yogurt or anything you have cans, plastics, if you buy some cottage cheese in a plastic, just save it all. Save it all, because you might have to go to the store with a plastic something and scoop out some rice or whatever because they might be delivering these huge things of grain to the stores and there's no plastic bins. I mean, that's like an extreme, but it's like bulk. You might only be able to get stuff in bulk, and maybe they won't have any plastic bags for you. So just be saving right now, just in case, like just so you have, some backup. Everybody's got that kind of stuff in their fridge, right? Usually we're used to recycling it, but just don't recycle it right now is my recommendation. Are you recommending that too, lead team? Yes. Okay. All right. Again, everybody's going to have different experiences. It doesn't mean we're all going to experience the same kind of things. Okay. I would just not be getting, like I have a friend who's they're doing a garage sale right now. And I'm like, I wouldn't get rid of anything right now. I just wouldn't get rid of anything. I just wouldn't. I'd hang on to things. I know some of you are simplifying or whatever. Simplify by putting stuff in a box, but hang on to it. I just would. You never know. You just never know what you might need going on. So going forward, yeah, they're saying yes. So, which is funny because like a couple months ago, I did do a declutter and I got rid of a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, whatever. Oh, okay. All right. Is the shortfall of critical technology items related to the hardware needed for refining? Yes. That's getting into kind of specifics, but for some of you might want to know that. I don't know. Is this a preparation for a larger scale industrial mobilization? Marcia, these questions are really technical. Yes, very technical. She worked a long time on this episode too, so it's hard sometimes. To get some really good questions. Will the fast tracking like the emergency order, significantly change the actual speed of fuel production? Yes. Well, that's good. Are standard environmental reviews being waived because the shortage is already critical? Yes. I mean, is it true that other gas or petroleum plants have been blowing up throughout the world. There's been unusual activity in like one in Australia, one in Texas, one in Romania, one in wherever. I mean, they've just been all over the place. Like somebody's doing something nefarious. Is that Iran doing that? No. Those suckers. Bunch of suckers. Okay, somebody's trying to create a worse situation, put it that way. Yes. Okay. Um okay, so we did the environmental reviews. Will the bypassed environmental reviews lead to long-term infrastructure damage? Yes. Will the government take direct control of private trucking and shipping assets? Oh, wow. Yes. Will this emergency order lead to the federalization of major energy companies? Oh, interesting. Yes, allegedly. Does this order, and again, I mean, I don't even know what that means or what the impact would be, but remember, we can change timelines, you guys. So this is why I didn't want anybody listening who is going to feel fearful about this. It's more like just good information. Does this order grant the government permanent control over refining? Yes. Does the government see the expansion of domestic oil as a way to exit the conflict in Iran? No. Okay. Are they even interested in exiting the conflict in Iran? No. Okay. It's much more complicated, I think. You got the military industrial complex, you got the finance people, Again, we're beyond politics at this point. You got to go to the next layer down and the next layer down. And that's what the people I listen to now for that education. It's quite fascinating. Okay, is the national emergency status being used to bypass congressional funding limits? Yes, because the government's still closed, although TSA is getting paid, so that's nice. At least we did get paid this last week, so we're all caught up, so that's good. But not all federal workers are being paid. Is there a hidden financial reason for declaring an emergency rather than using normal legislation? Is there a hidden financial reason? Yes, of course. Is the government preparing for a scenario where fuel must be rationed for civilians? Yes, I better be more clear. Is the US government preparing for fuel rationing? Yes. So keep that in mind. Does this order prioritize military fuel needs over civilian access? Yes. Yes. And this is worldwide. So this is not just in the US, it's worldwide. Yes. Okay. Is the public being told the full extent of the energy shortfall? No. I feel like I'm hearing stuff from Europe more than I'm hearing stuff from our own government, but it could just be the channels I'm listening to. Is this national emergency declaration a temporary measure for the duration of the war? Yes. Does this mean that immediate fuel shortages are happening? Yes. Again, depends on where you live, Is this an indication of a move towards martial law? Yes. And the reason I think this is important is because I've heard people say, let me just ask a few more questions. And again, allegedly entertainment purposes only. So we have midterm elections coming up in November 2026. Yes. And Trump's, what do you call that? I don't know. He's not in favor right now. Let's just put it that way. What do you call those? You guys are all going to put it in the comments. It's okay. You don't have to. I just can't think of the term off the top of my head right now. So the polls, duh. Okay, so the polls are not really showing in favor. Is that correct? Yes. So I have learned that one of the ways to avoid elections is to be in war, to be in a war. Is that true? Yes. So will we be having elections in November of 2026? No, allegedly. Okay. Well, is that the plan? Is that their plan right now to halt elections for 2026? Yes. Okay. And one way to do that is to keep us, we can't even, how are we going to get to the voting if we don't have a lot of gas? I'm getting an electric bike, I know that. I don't, or not even, I can just ride my bike over there if I had to. It's not that far away. Might be for other people though. Yes. Okay. Okay. So is this 100% certainty that this is going to happen this way? No, I think that's important to keep that in mind. We can timeline shift. Just say unacceptable, unacceptable, right? Yep, yep. Keep your energy high, keep your vibration high. That's why I was warning people not to watch this. So this is just, the more you can take care of yourself, the more you can be able to keep your energy in the I'm not putting up with this category. You can keep your energy kind of high with that. So, okay. Okay. So this is an outcome. What's the likely outcome of this? The November 2026 election? Is there a more than a 50% chance that it will be delayed, the 2026 election? Yes. Okay. Do most Congress people know this? Yes. All right. Okay. All right, you guys, let me know if you have any questions. I hope this is helpful. It's helpful for me, so I'm hoping it's helpful for a few other people. I just kind of want to know. I want to know what to expect. So, but it's not a certainty, just like they said, not a certainty. But 75% chance, that's pretty high, right? So keep raising your vibration, keep digging into the truth about stuff so we can unbrainwash ourselves, and then you're not controlled by, that energy anymore, right? But you got to prepare a little bit. We are going to be working on a way for our community to be in contact with each other locally for those who want to. We're working on a structure for that, okay? Because I know, I was like, just say it in the comments. And then, I'm sure that wasn't helpful. But it's true. I mean, maybe some of you made connections. I don't know. But we'll work on something a little bit more formal, okay, to help you guys make safe local connections with each other, okay? All right. I'll see you tomorrow night. Take care. Bye-bye.